investing in these areas is important to me.
Thank you, Dr. Herman. Next question is something that all students should know, and that's what your opinion of the concerns that students should have in the forefront of their mind. What do you think students should be most concerned with in the declining economy and the changing role of education? Can you elaborate on your thoughts?
Well, there are a couple things. One of the things that worries me for all of higher education is the extent to which the middle class will vanish from four-year institutions. I think we need to find a way to prevent that. We need to increase scholarships so that people can come to institutions. And that may mean you go to a two-year institution first. And one of the nice things here is the community colleges that are already part of that. We started to reach out to community colleges. There are 49 of them in the state of Illinois. And we created a partnership just now over the past couple of years with 13. We have a joint enrollment cohort will come into the community college and actually, not with all of them, a couple of them so far, and actually be part of the Urbana campus. And so the transition is seamless. You don't have to reapply. You just do well on a certain number of courses. And so the articulation has to increase. I think individuals, as students, need to be concerned about what happens upon graduation. Are there going to be jobs out there? And this is a rough time for that, but it isn't the only time in American history, or even in recent American history. I was at the University of Maryland when Bill Cosby came to be graduation speaker, and it was a very rough time for jobs for graduates. And the first thing he said in his speech, and the president almost fell off the seat, was, "You ought to demand your tuition back." So, I think it was meant in an amusing way, but we need to think about where our students are going to go when they graduate. And that's, a university is not a job shop, but we need to tell them inform them about what the world is like out there. And at the same time, I'd like to see the graduation rate increase. I mean, I know it has already increased. And it's the base you start from. So just because somebody else has a graduation rate 20 points higher than you, you shouldn't have to feel bad about that. But if you get increased graduation rate a point a year, I think we get into what Obama's talking about, having this country be in the lead in the percentage of its population that has either an associate's or a bachelor's degree. And we used to be second 30 years ago. What happened? Well, it's the boiling frog. Nobody was paying attention. And eventually, among the industrialized nations, we're way down the list. So I think people should think about figuring out ways to complete their degree. And to the extent that people are, as they are at Illinois, dropping out in good standing because of economic concerns, it's our responsibility to go out and raise scholarship funds. And I also think I understand there's a pizza with the president and the provost, and I think these things are very, very important. And I will tell you, when I was an undergraduate, I went to a technical school, but several of us we took one humanities course a semester. This was not exactly a well-rounded education. But I would say the person who affected my life the most was, in fact, the humanities professor. And he would invite us over to his house just to get us to think outside of ourselves. And I remember 4 years ago at convocation, we have a freshman convocation which welcomes new students to campus, and about 95% of the class shows up. And I spoke about this individual. And with the benefit of distance, I just realized how much he had influenced my life. So one of my hopes is that each of you, as students, will find that professor who will make a difference in your life. It might be inside your discipline, it might be outside. And I just think the ability for single individuals to affect a life, and here with a wonderful faculty, I'm sure you'll find someone. So reach out, and don't be shy, take advantage of the wonderful people that are here.
Great, thank you.
Long answer, Travis, sorry.
That's what we like. And again, I'll remind anyone watching over the internet that you can email questions to prez-search@nmsu.edu. The next question is actually from me, and I'm a graduate student here at New Mexico State University, and so I feel obligated to ask this. What ideas do you have for improving the quality of life for graduate students, whether it be getting more money for research, better health care? What ideas do you have to improve the quality of life for our grad students?
And again, this is to some extent the answers have to be local, because I don't know exactly what the situation is here. So I'll speak a bit from my experience at Illinois, where we do have negotiations each year with the Graduate Employees Organization for wages. But I would think the biggest problem for us, I think, is healthcare. And the healthcare for the individual is fine, but many more graduate students are married these days, and spousal healthcare is very, very expensive. And so I honestly believe one of the biggest things, biggest changes I'd like to see at Illinois is a way to increase the healthcare. But I do know for a fact that is enormously expensive. But I think working on interesting ideas along that area, and also the creation of more graduate fellowships, which when I was provost, I created a matching fund for scholarships, which meant that if a donor gave, let's say, $100,000 towards a graduate fellowship, that would give back in terms of interest $5,000 a year. And the provost office would match the $5,000 a year. So the donor was effectively investing 50 cents to get $1 worth of benefits. And we had some very good people working in development, and we had 100 new graduate fellowships in 18 months. So I think that there are ways to get additional support for the graduate students, and of course, one hopes for more support from the federal government that will in turn support graduate students in that area. But graduate students are extremely important to the research operation and any institution.
Thank you. Any questions from our? Yes? Okay. I'll give you another one. What is your interpretation of the land grant mission, and how do you see the land grant mission, how do you see the land grant mission applying to institutions in the 21st century?
Well, one is, it really is based on the public good, but if you look inside, obviously it's evolved from the agriculture and the mechanical arts as the original Land Grant Act was the language of the original Land Grant Act and the Morrill Act. And but significantly, you'll remember this was to give education to the sons and daughters of those who, and I'm trying to remember the rest of the language, but not the non-wealthy individuals, and which at that time, of course, numbered most of the population. So access was a significant issue. And so when I began to talk about access and success, or in modern day language, building human capital, I think is extremely important. But we need also to keep the public good in mind. And I know there are many, many problems out there which are problems of society. So I would count energy among them, and I'm very pleased that Illinois and Berkeley partnered with what they call themselves now Beyond Petroleum, BP,